I was detailed from the fire department into the Office of Emergency Management. I was reading the paper, and the lights went out. People came running out of the room that faced the towers, and I can remember people running and screaming. And I said, well, what, I yelled, what is it? What's going on? And they said, a plane just crashed into the tower. I ran to my car, put on a helmet and a mayor's office jacket. It was already like a war zone. There was stuff crashing to the street. There were bodies crashing in the street. Parts of the building were falling off. My best friend, Terry Hatton, was the captain of Rescue 1 and the rising star of the New York City Fire Department, one of the most respected people in the job. Terry was 6'4", and when he put on his helmet and his boots, he was 6'7" or 6'8". And he just gave me a nod of the head, like, come over here. So I went over to see him, and he was in his gear and awaiting orders from the chief on what to do. And he had his Halligan in his hand, and he gave me a hug. He wrapped his big arms around me and kissed me on the cheek and said, might be the last time I see you, brother. I love you, man. A lot of people started coming down who were bloody, with cuts, broken legs or arms, burned. I ran outside trying to find the EMS. I found a group of EMS. I said, Charlie, we need help inside. There's injured people laying all over the lobby. We need you guys to help evacuate them. Just as we started rounding the corner to run toward the lobby of 2 World Trade Center, we heard it. The sound was deafening, and it was progressive. You could actually hear each floor collapse. We ran back to the lobby of that hotel and dove in there. It went pitch black, the wind picked up, and everything that wasn't nailed down was flying at me. I dropped to my knees and started trying to go back the way I came in, trying to escape, and I realized I can't go out there because all this steel is crashing in the street. I'll be killed out there, but I can't go forward anymore because apparently it's collapsing in front of me. And I found a column and wrapped my arms around it just to hold on and hope. This wind just picked up to 70 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, I don't know. Tremendous wind. The helmet blew off my head. The noise was just unbearable. And I was just waiting to get crushed, and had given up because there was nothing else I can do. Finally, the wind stopped, the noise stopped, and you couldn't see anything. And it was just an eerie silence for a minute or two. The collapse crushed the hotel I was in pretty extensively. The section that I was in didn't get crushed. One small part. Someone behind me yelled that they found a way out. So we all started going toward that voice. We joined hands and started going toward that voice. I was in flight mode, and I just wanted to get as far away as I could. So I was running north, and I heard people behind me start screaming. And I just looked over my shoulder and saw the top of number 1 lean over and then disappear with the antenna and everything. And I knew Terry was in there. All I could do was continue running to try and live. walked in the door, and the first face I saw was Beth. And she was crying. And she looked at me and said, "Tell me he's alive." And I couldn't, because I knew. And I hugged her and held her, and that was all I could do. And then Beth found out that she was pregnant on September 13th, 2 days after Terry died. When I moved to Washington, I dove into work. I really was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to get this command stuff up and running for the secretary.
Between local emergency managers, police, fire.
Someone asked me, just innocently said to me, "Well, don't you miss your friends in New York?" And it put me on my heels because, you know, the mind works pretty quick sometimes. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be missing my friends in New York. That was my first thought. My second thought was, I got scared. And I said, why don't I miss them? Is there something wrong with me? That kind of a thought. And then I said, no, there's nothing wrong with me, but they're all dead. Terry was always a guy that was hard to keep up with because he was that good, but he was also very smart. Very rare to find all of that in one person. We went to this fire and it wound up being me and Terry alone on the line together. And we made the turn. I had the nozzle, he was backing me up, and he's just screaming encouragement. I mean, we were in hell. And he's screaming in my ear through his mask, you know, let's go, brother, you got it, move in, you got it, let's go. And that right there describes our relationship. That we could do that together, and that I knew he was there for me, and he knew I was there for him. I guess that moment right there describes it, you know. You know, and I lost that. I felt horribly guilty. And I feel like, you know, I should have been there with him. Whether it was life or death, I should have been there with him in death. I kind of feel like I'm coming back to New York where I left off 3 years ago, but it's not the same, you know? I don't know what fate has in store for me. And I don't know what my career is gonna be. I don't know where my money's gonna come from. The pension is nice, but it's not, you know, it's not enough for me to have a one-bedroom here, you know?
No, I'm not really doing anything right now. just kind of in a holding pattern.
They just released some more tapes of the firemen calling the fire department dispatcher. Patty Brown was one of them.
Dispatch, Ken Brown, ladder 3. I'm at the World Trade Center. Yeah. I'm on the 35th floor, okay? Okay. Just relayed to the command post. We're trying to get up. You know, there's numerous civilians in all stairwells, numerous burn injuries are coming down. I'm trying to send them down first. Apparently, it's above the 75th floor. I don't know if they got there yet, okay? Okay. It's a free truck, and we're still heading up, all right? Okay. Thank you. Okay.
You know, his last recorded words were, I'm going up. Simple, powerful, brave words. He wasn't going to let Terry die up there alone. I wish I could have done more to help Terry and Patrick and all the other guys. I wish I could have. Maybe that day when I ran out of the hotel, yeah, maybe I never stopped running, really, you know. Maybe I'm running away from the hurt.
Good morning, and I want to welcome everybody to Rescue 1. We are here to rename part of 43rd Street after one of our city's most decorated firefighters, Captain Terry Hatton. And I'm honored.
His wife and family will continue to honor him every day by speaking his name and preserving his memory. By renaming 43rd Street, every future generation will know that there was once a great husband, father, son, brother, uncle, friend.
Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you?
Terry really was a remarkable guy. I try not to romanticize him too much with Terry because I try to make him a real person. But she's gonna look at that sign and think, gee, my dad really was what my mom said. Just thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it so much.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I'm involved because I believe in him, and I believe that he will fix the things that killed my friends. And that Terry and Patrick would be proud of me.
I'll give you guys lists if you want it. I'll talk to you about the radios. I'll talk to you, and I'll tell you the truth.
I'm running a program of first responders for Rudy.
My boss was a guy named Terry Hatton. He was a lieutenant there at the time.
I'm defending the mayor on 9/11, so I've done a tremendous amount of research on and around 9/11, so I'm learning a lot of things that I didn't know. I'm reliving it. I now know from eyewitnesses and ear witnesses, I know how they died. I know where they were. You know? I know Terry was trapped up on 83 with his guys. You know, they had an interior collapse, and they were trapped in the tower before the big collapse. And they were screaming for help on the radio. And Patty Brown heard it and was going up the stairs. the bravery that they demonstrated by being up that high, by getting there, by being right at the heart of the carnage. I'm extremely proud of them.
That's why I'm the best choice.
More a Republican project or a Democratic project, but an American accomplishment.
You know, this tie with the mayor and 9/11 and White House and all that, yeah, if it doesn't happen, then I've done my best to try and make it happen, and then it's done. So maybe in a way, I kind of hope for that.
Terry's always in my head. His voice is always there. If I had heard Terry and ran toward him, what was I gonna do? You know, they were on the 83rd floor. What would the point of that been? It has made me tired thinking about it. I'm just done with it. I can't live there. I can't live in that place. I want to live in this place. I guess I'm pretty happy to be alive.